All right, today we're going to dive into a debate that's pretty much as old as school itself, the uniform debate.
I mean, it seems like such a simple question, right? School uniforms, yes or no? But this one question, wow, it is at the very heart of a huge debate that you hear in school hallways, in board meetings, and definitely around dinner tables.
So, how are we going to tackle this? Well, instead of just getting lost in a sea of opinions, we're going to ground our entire analysis in a single solid piece of evidence.
And here it is. This is a real deal uniform policy for girls in years 10 through 12. So, for the next few minutes, let's treat this document as our case study. We're going to explore what it says and, maybe more importantly, what it implies about that much bigger debate. Okay, first things first, let's just break down what's actually required here. We are going to deconstruct this uniform piece by piece. So for the colder months, the winter uniform is a complete, totally prescribed outfit. We're talking a specific blazer, shirt, winter skirt, jumper, and even the socks. Not a lot of wiggle room there. And then when summer rolls around, well, almost everything stays exactly the same. The only real change is a switch to a lighter, summer-length skirt. The main takeaway here? Consistency. But wait, there's more. On top of the standard uniform, there's a completely separate outfit required just for sports. And this isn't just, a t-shirt and shorts. It is a dedicated jacket, top, tracksuit pants, and socks. That adds a whole other set of mandatory items to the shopping list. So when you put it all together, the sheer volume of stuff becomes crystal clear. This table really shows the total scope. All the different pieces for the standard uniform, the sport uniform, plus the things you need all year, like the bag and shoes. It is a significant list. Now check this out. Here's a fascinating little detail tucked away in the policy. It says running shoes must be white or black only, but then it explicitly states no particular brand. It's a small thing, but it's such a telling glimpse into where the school's rules end and just a tiny sliver of personal choice begins. Okay, so we've seen what the policy says. Now, let's analyze what a policy this detailed actually suggests about the great uniform debate. Let's read between the lines. So I'll ask you directly, when you see a policy with this much detail, right down to the socks and the color of your shoes, what does that suggest to you? What values are being prioritized here? A document like this is basically the entire debate in miniature. On one side, all this detail points towards arguments for community and discipline, for trying to reduce peer pressure over brands. But at the exact same time, it brings up all the counter-arguments, doesn't it? You think of the financial burden of buying all these specific items, the potential for suppressing individuality, and even simple questions about comfort and just practicality.
Ultimately, our goal here wasn't to decide for you whether uniforms are right or wrong. It was to take a real-world example and use it as a tool so you can analyze the evidence for yourself and build your own informed argument.
And that brings us to the next step. Our source text wasn't just a question, it was actually a challenge to create 5 supporting phrases or quotations. It's asking you not just to have an opinion, but to actually take a side and build a case based on what you've seen. So that's where we'll leave it. You've seen the policy, you've deconstructed all the requirements, and you've weighed the arguments that it brings up. So now the question is all yours to answer. What would your argument be? What would your 5 supporting phrases be?